Hello everyone, and this is my review for Monday Night Raw on May 25th, 2015, and it's being the really quickly go-home show into the network special of Elimination Chamber. And actually for the first 2 hours, a relatively entertaining show. Maybe not in the terms of maybe match quality wise or anything, but I mean in the terms of building the story, especially around Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins and the Elimination Chamber match with the Intercontinental title. You got some intertwining between everybody, kind of setting up simple sub storylines for the Elimination Chamber match, like with Rusev and Dolph Ziggler. Obviously, also the turning of face of Lana that continued on. The promo that they did in there, teasing that maybe Lana would go back, and then Rusev kind of screws it up, was not a bad way of going about it as well. I liked how Rusev did kind of come out on top in the end and actually get his hands on Dolph Ziggler in there. They did a relatively good job setting up those areas of the show, and I felt it came off rather well. Also, the other area, like I was saying with the Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose spot, I've never been a big fan of the whole aspect of the arresting portions of storylines, just because most of the times they come off really stupid and they just don't come off all that great to begin with. I mean, the angle they did with Stephanie months back last year at SummerSlam actually came off really well. This one came off fairly okay. It came off in a sense of, it's like, okay, that's somewhat believable. You see how the authorities kind of trying to force this guy to press charges against Dean Ambrose and everything like that. So you're kind of seeing the whole aspect that, that one of the authority members had something to do with it, and then they show a video. And I like how they're trying to do the whole aspect of it being around YouTube and everything, though in the final promo of the night kind of just makes everything look stupid, because they run the YouTube channel when they know that video is already uploaded on there. And they come, and like all the authority members later on come out there as if nothing had been shown, nothing had happened, they didn't know about anything, and yet here it is on their official YouTube page. Okay, that just didn't come off all that. That was one aspect of it that didn't come off all that well, and you knew. Obviously, you knew they were just doing this in the terms of trying to create something interesting, to setting up the fact that Dean Ambrose would eventually sign the contract at the end of the night, and it came off all right. It didn't come off all that. It didn't come off all that bad, but it didn't come off all that great. And like I said, they messed up the whole continuity at the end, where Stephanie and Triple H and Seth Rollins come out there acting as if nothing happened, and no video had been shown. But it could have been better. It could have been worse. And we've seen a lot worse in the past, especially with a certain variation that they did with Goldberg, Nash, and Hogan back in WCW. Yeah, we won't go into that one at this point. That would be for any kind of retro show I decide to do down the road. And like I said, for the most part, the first couple hours were really good. The last area that I felt that was really good about the show was the John Cena and Kevin Owens bit. Obviously, them setting up the match throughout the night, that was like, oh, Zack Ryder's going to accept the United States Open Challenge and everything. And it's like, okay, that was a relatively decent match on there. And but the main setup was, Kevin Owens retaliating and continuing his disrespect of John Cena and the United States title and everything like that, leading into his match with Cena at Elimination Chamber. I thought they pulled this off absolutely perfectly. They made it almost seem like they weren't going to do anything with Kevin Owens that night, and then he just appears out of nowhere to attack Cena. I felt they did a really good job in this portion of the show, and this portion of setting up a really quick storyline between him and Kevin Owens and John Cena. The promo Cena put before the challenge was relatively good. Kind of typical of how Cena is when he's in serious mode, but still rather good one. Helps put over Kevin Owens of how he is and who he is, and then, you know, putting over the fact that he's also going to only be, you know, just the same old thing where Cena's going to win. So you kind of got a double dose there where he's putting over how Owens is and who he is, and that he's actually really good going into the match, but also saying it was like everybody else, he's got to knock him down, all that kind of stuff, and kind of jazz. So he did a relatively good job there as well. The areas I felt were very lacking on the show, they just felt like they were kind of filler. And one of them's really, one of them you're kind of used to, and well, I really wouldn't say filler. They just kind of glanced over everything. One of them you're kind of used to. The other one, they probably should have put more thought into it. I'll just go off and say they did that with the Divas title situation. It felt very blah. It was just kind of there, kind of setting up stuff going into the pay-per-view match. The triple threat with Nikki Bella, Paige, and Naomi. It was kind of just. It really didn't do anything for any of the feuds there. Just kind of, you know, put over the aspect of, you know, maybe Naomi's going to become the Divas champion in this case. Nikki and Brie Bella don't really do anything. And then they obviously have Tamina go over Paige in this case, so that really doesn't help anything in that aspect as well. So it really didn't do much of anything. And the other one was the tag team title situation with the tag team title elimination chamber match. And this is the sad one, because this is kind of the interesting elimination chamber matches, and they kind of really just glance over it in 5 minutes, having the New Day come out continuing their complaining, and then Kane comes out in like a face roll and makes a 10-on-3 handicap match, which just breaks down into a pure six brawl within 2 minutes. They really didn't do anything good with it, and that's kind of sad, because like I said, this elimination chamber match with the tag teams is probably the most unique thing they've got going with the card right now. Obviously there's some other interesting matches. You have the other elimination chamber match, both elimination chamber matches in the WWE title match with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. You also have Kevin Owens and Cena. Like, the card is looking really, really good. I wish they could have done more. Or I wish they did do more. They could have done more, and they didn't with this Elimination Chamber match, and that's kind of sad in that case. They also had a setup with, or the continuation of a setup for the pay-per-view match now with, well, I keep calling it pay-per-view match, but it's pretty much just a network special, at least for the U.S. people. I'm not sure how it's going to work elsewhere internationally, if it's going to be pay-per-view and the network. You know, on stateside it's just on the network, but it could be working differently elsewhere. So I'll try to refer to it as network special instead of pay-per-view. Setting up for a new the network special match or elimination chamber match, not an actual elimination chamber match, but, you know, match on the elimination chamber card between Bo Dallas and Neville. Actually, I like how they decided to go ahead and, you know, use the NXT background between the two of them to kind of set up this match. Also, they're kind of making it seem as if Bo Dallas is trying to pick up Neville or trying to encourage him to be his best and everything, and also causing and playing off of the injury with the knee and everything. I like where they are going with this. I just wish Neville was actually in a more high-profile match go into this network special, and like I said last week, I felt like he should have been in the Elimination Chamber match, but here he is, at least on that special, with a match with Bo Dallas, the person he's had matches with in the past, been relatively good. Maybe they'll give him some time on the actual show itself to make it a really good one again. They had good matches in NXT, so hopefully they'll have, like I said, hopefully they'll have that time to make the to do that type of match with within this higher stage platform at this point. So we'll see how that one ends out going as well. So overall, like I said, the first 2 hours of Raw I felt were really good. They were really. It was pretty good. It was a pretty good show. I won't say really good, but I'll say a pretty good show. They did a decent job of setting up the Intercontinental Title Elimination Chamber match. Kevin Owens and John Cena. They did a good job with. Also with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. They did a relatively good job setting that up as well throughout the night. It was that last hour that just everything that they missed in those first 2 hours. They kind of just started glancing over for the last hour. Like with the Divas match and the Tag Team Elimination Chamber match, they didn't really do much with it. I didn't really care for the final segment as well. You kind of knew where it was going, and the whole aspect of Seth Rollins and Stephanie McMahon and Triple H still playing dumb, that like footage had already shown up, didn't come off all that well in that aspect either. The whole area with Roman Reigns being in there actually makes sense because Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, you know, they can play off the whole Shield thing as long as they really need to. So yeah, like I said, for the most part, the first couple hours of Raw, pretty good show. Last hour of Raw, not so much. So that is my review this week for WWE Monday Night Raw, and I thank you guys for watching.